Yes, Savita ji? Yeah.
William Wordsworth once said, "Poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotions recollected in tranquility." Good evening, everyone. I'm Savita. Call me an entrepreneur, call me an HR professional. But what I love most is to be among people who love to play with words. And so I'm here with Dr. J. Vijayalakshmi, a charming, versatile lady who is a poet, an author, and a professor by profession. She's an accomplished author with 5 published books, ranging from novels to poems. Her first book, Quest for God, is a novel based on Search for God. Poems on the Eternal God and Love Beyond Love are her books on poetry, which deal with the essential question, "Who am I?" Black, A Tale of Unfinished Tales, is a short story anthology on the themes of death, horror, and rebirth. She has published more than 40 research papers in national and international journals. Dr. J. Vijayalakshmi is a gold medalist and a Triple Crown winner at Toastmasters International. She has recently won the Ugam Women's Award in the field of literature. Apart from many other accolades, her latest book, Love Beyond Love, has won second prize in Coimbatore Literary Awards 2020. So, let's speak to her on her book, Love Beyond Love, which explores love in different relations and how it shapes one's life. A very warm welcome to our show and congratulations on your book. So,
Yeah, thank you very much, Savita ji, and thank you for the wonderful introduction.
okay, so can you tell me what was the context of writing a book on love?
Okay. Like the context of writing a concept about love was that love, I would just give the, like, if you take love as an acronym, I would just like to give the full form of it. Like L, it stands for liveliness. O, it stands for oneness. V, it stands for vacuum. And E, it stands for enlightened. So this is the definition of love that I give. And like love, it is portrayed in the form of battle between mind and heart. And if you see, there is poem 1 which says, like, the thoughts scattered around me, the thoughts scattered around me like an unending figment of phoenix ash. I trying to forget, and those trying to relinquish. Who won? Asked the mind. Whoever won, the defeat is mine. So here there is a struggle or battle between heart and mind, and whoever wins, usually it is the heart which loses out, like at the end. And then there is a poem about dreams as represented in poem number 2, that is, lost in the vagaries of love, I woke up. Lost in the vagaries of love, I woke up to find my dream shattered, never to be repaired in the realm of consciousness. So here there is connection between love, there is connection between dreams and also the various layers of consciousness. So you can say that love is consciousness and consciousness is love. And about silence in poem number 19, the world's greatest happiness lies in silence. The world's greatest happiness lies in silence. For silence engraves a vicious circle. For silence engraves a vicious circle of past, present, and future. So here the silence plays a major role in the unending circle of past, present, and future. And then the last one is regarding the search, which is poem number 90. The search is limitless, the search is infinite, the search always rests in the solitude of the soul. So here, the love is for the search, which is infinite, and it leads to the real meaning of the soul. So this is how I came up with the idea for my book, that is Love Beyond Love.
Great, truly wonderful. So now we have a new acronym for love, like, liveliness, oneness, vacuum, and enlightenment. Isn't that we all try to find in love? So I think if we find our love, we can almost find everything.
Yeah,
Now, both
true.
so both of your books, they deal with the essential question, who am I? So how different is your book, Love Beyond Love, from your previous book, Poems on the Eternal God?
Okay. So the first book, it is entitled as Poems on the Eternal God. It deals with the aspect of God and spirituality. It is about also about the concept of Om, the importance of sound, the importance of light in our lives. So here, if you see, God resides in our body as five essential elements, that is, fire, water, air, earth, and ether. So these are the five essential elements. So, like if you see, you have the concept of Katha Upanishad, where it is brought out that beyond the five elements in the understanding of the God, beyond the five elements in the understanding of the God, man reaches immortality. So, this is the basic definition which I have given in my second book, that is Poems on the Eternal God. And there is nobody greater than him, and he is our last resort. And
Yes.
it is also about the concept of truth, the concept of beauty, and the heart also. So there is a quote which says, when the mind achieves beauty, when the mind achieves beauty and heart attains truth, the two co-joined elevates the God in us. The two co-joined elevates the God in us, and hence truth and beauty are sagas enveloped into one. So this is regarding the second book of poetry. Uh, and then you have Love Beyond Love, which deals with the aspect that there is only love and nothing else. So it is regarding the philosophy of losing, it is regarding the philosophy of winning. And like you have a specific quote there, in a life full of struggle, it does not matter who won or who lost. In a life full of struggle, it does not matter who won or who lost. So, here, like without realizing the real meaning of the self, without realizing the real meaning of the truth or the life, we have the grand voyages of the world. That is, into the grand voyages of the world, I can still sense an intuition of several regions undiscovered. And here it is about the unexplained feelings uh, about the world, about the universe, and also the various several regions which are still undiscovered. So, this is my idea regarding the second book and also the last book of poetry.
Amazing. So, truth and beauty are sagas enveloped into one. And
Yeah,
winning and losing doesn't matter if you don't understand the meaning of life. Great.
yeah,
So, you have
yeah,
brought in two different perspectives in answering the
yeah,
question, who am I?
yeah,
It is both
yeah,
understanding inner self as well as the universe. So,
yeah,
talking about the poem about universe in the book, which says the carnal and physical and the eternal space suffocates the source of light and sound. The light competing to the eye, yet the sound wanting to immerse itself in eye. So, are you trying to connect science and space in here?
yeah, definitely. I'm trying to connect science and space here. And science and space is connected to poetry in the latest book, that is Love Beyond Love. And if you see, space is just considered to be an illusion. Like in Indian
True.
philosophy, we call illusion as Maya, and it is like a sort of boundary in one's mind. And like if you see, space, it starts from one dimension to 10 dimensional sphere.
Mhm.
That is, you have the theory of
And then,
superstring, which says that universe, it exists in 10 different dimensions at once. And you have the framework of the superstring, wherein it says that the first dimension of space is the x-axis, which is the length. The second dimension of space is the y-axis, which gives you the height. The third dimension of it is both the combination of x and y, which is z. And the fourth dimension is time, which governs the properties of all known matter at a given point of time. And then fifth is the stage where our universe is slightly different from other universes. And sixth, you have other universes. Likewise, you have seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th dimension. And eighth dimension is very special because it gives the history of all the universes. That is, eight is equated to the symbol infinite. And the last dimension, we arrive at a point where everything is possible and everything which is imaginable is covered. And beyond this, there is nothing which can be imagined. So I have made a sort of little connection between number 10, that is 10. It is considered to be the combination of binary 0 and 1. So either you are a shunya, that is nothingness, or you are 1. The concept of knowing yourself, your inner self, into the depth of the realization. So that is how I have connected science and space.
Wow, excellent connection. It is really fascinating, that science can be explained using poetry. And it only happens, I guess, when the poet is a scientist at heart. So, your first book, Quest for God, is also finding the consciousness or true self. There is a lot of influence of spirituality in your writings. So, is it some incidents of the past that have formed your beliefs? How do you get your spiritual inspirations?
Like I get my inspiration from reading all the root of the books. That is, the root of the books are Vedas and Upanishad. And to name Isha Upanishad, that is Isha Upanishad with the mystic meaning and its interconnections. That is, you have in Isha Upanishad, there are various layers of meaning. You have the conscious Lord, the phenomenal nature, you have the theme of renunciation, you have enjoyment, you have the one stable Brahman, you have the states of being and becoming, and also you have what is known as birth and non-birth. So here in this concept, God or consciousness, it can be uh, represented as where he pervades all, and he is pure, he is devoid of evil, and he is transcendent and self existing. So it is he who sustains all realistic objects. So there is a quote from Isha Upanishad, that is Isha Vasyam idam sarvam yet kimcha jagatyam jagat. Isha Vasyam idam sarvam yet kimcha jagatyam jagat. So this is how I was inspired from by Vedas and Upanishads.
Marvelous. Really wonderful to know that you try to have a deep understanding of the Vedas and Upanishads. The ancient literature, it becomes a bit difficult to understand and imbibe. But your big books seem to present a simplistic view of life. And so I think it is a bliss to read your books. So
Yeah.
apart from Vedas and Upanishads, any other books of spirituality which have inspired you?
Yeah, of course. I am inspired by the life of Buddha and by his eternal quest. So there is a teaching in which Buddha says, I teach because you and all beings want to have happiness, want to avoid suffering. I teach the way, the things they are. And he has also like mentioned about uh, guide, the own guiding light. That is, I can die happily. I have not kept a single teaching hidden in a closed hand. Everything that is useful for you, I have already given. Be your own guiding light. So I am also inspired by the four noble truths. That is, you have the truth of suffering, cause of suffering, end of suffering, and the path which frees you from suffering. And also, of course, eightfold path, which deals with right thought, right speech, right action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and concentration. So this is how I am inspired.
Wow, actually, Buddha has given us a spiritual path that focuses on ethical training and
Yeah.
meditation to
Yeah.
finally come out of the cycle of birth and rebirth. So
Yes.
it's very nice that you have taken inspirations from those. There are a lot of derivations from elements of nature also in your book. How do you explain that?
So there are many. and innumerable derivation from the elements of nature. That is, nature is considered to be goddess. Nature is considered to be the guide, the philosopher, the friend, the teacher, and nature is everywhere around us. And nature, you can see it is the sun, the moon, the stars, the fire, and also the five elements. Even the dew drops, even everything, almost everything, it is nature. Like I would like to quote, that is, he is surprised by the full moon. It is the same moon which began as a dot and then dwelt into infinity. It dies again and again into life. It dies again and again into life to prove that everything was once just a zero. So here we draw inspiration from moon, wherein it teaches that even if you are a zero, you can achieve great success and you can reach greater heights. So here I have tried to combine nature and inspirational poetry along with the concept of spirituality.
Right, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, the fire, the air, the water, the ether, the earth always enchants the divinity of the truth. Wonderful. So the title of your book, Black, A Tale of Unfinished Tales, seems to be very mysterious. Any particular reason for choosing the color black?
So if you see like colors, they are linked to our chakras. As we go deep into chakras, we realize that the colors, they are the representation of the self. You have the color red, which represents the root chakra, orange, sacral chakra, yellow, the solar plexus, and green, that is the heart chakra, and sky blue, that is throat chakra, and indigo, which is the third eye chakra, and you have purple, which is the crown chakra, and black is nowhere here. And black, it represents the initial stage where there was no light and there was only the concept of dark holes where there is no return. And black is also related to the concept of death, rebirth, and supernatural elements and the unknown elements of fear. So this is how I portrayed black as a title of my fourth book, which is Black, A Tale of Unfinished Tales.
Yeah, it does bring in a sense of horror, I must say.
Yeah.
So, Miss Vijayalakshmi, I would like to know, as you try to answer the question, "Who am I?" So, what are the four basic concepts on which the notion of I depends?
Okay, so like this is a very complex question. Like there is no answer to it. It is just an open-ended statement. That is, you have the branch of literature which deals with it is Vedas and Upanishad. So you have Prajnanam Brahma, wherein it says that consciousness is Brahman. You have I am Atma Brahma, where it says that this self is Atman. You have Tat Vamsi, which says that thou art that or you are one. And you have Aham Brahmasmi, wherein it says that I am Brahman or I am divine. And these utterances are contemplated as a part of self exploration, and they are generally embedded within practice such as meditation and mantra chanting. And this is how I was inspired.
Fantastic. Another perspective to Sigmund Freud's I concept, which
Yeah.
talks about id, ego, and superego. Very nice. So, my next question, actually, I have been wanting to ask you this.
Yeah.
The cover page of the books, it looks so lovely with a beautiful
Yeah.
lady in the
Yeah.
pink background. So, what
Yeah.
was going on? What was going on in your mind when you were thinking
Yeah.
about the design?
Yeah. So I would just like to show the cover page of the book.
Yes, yes, we
So
would
it's
like to see
here.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the cover page. So here, if you see, the color is pink, like which is closely related to the heart, and you have a lady with the symbol of mudras who is meditating within, and that is this is the root chakra mudra. It facilitates the flow of energy in the body, and it also improves one's journey within. And it's also said that you have a sort of energetic connection with the earth. This is known as the Chin Mudra. And the grounding is to the earth. And the Chin Mudra, it brings you simplicity, it brings you modesty to your life. And there is always the mind, the soul, and the body just trying to connect with each other. The body is in the mind, and the soul possesses the body. So here you have also the symbol of flowers, you have leaves which connect to nature. And finally, there is a mirror image, that is love. It is like the mirror image of love. It is EVOL, which represents the states of beyond and also the states of transcendent. So it says, like, I am neither the body nor the mind. I am neither the body nor the mind. I am neither the senses nor the duality. I am neither the experienced nor the experience. I am neither the form nor the attributes. I am neither in bondage nor liberated. So finally, this is just the state of eternal bliss, what you call it as Satchidananda.
Wow, lots of spirituality in the design too. Great. Okay. Apart from spirituality, I found that this book is also a collection of all types of emotion a person can experience in his lifetime. It talks about life, death, success, failure, emotion towards your beloved, mom, dad, daughter, husband, wife. It talks about feminism, time, space. So, how did you come up with the title Love Beyond Love?
Okay, so the title is really interesting. It is
Yes.
love beyond love. That is,
I
you have the momentary states of love, you have the transcendental states of love, that is the beyond state. So, almost everything, like you start from life, death, elements of nature, you have success, you have failure, and you have your emotions towards your beloved, towards your mom, dad, daughter, or husband, wife, feminism, everything. So, everything, whatever you have experienced, all these are beautiful moments. And it is in these beautiful moments that you live. You remember and forget those moments that the journey of life is all about. So, life is basically about the concepts of remembering and forgetting. So, these two concepts add value to our life. So, how do you prove that you are a human being? You prove that you are a human being by only these two concepts, that is, the concepts of forgetting and also the concepts of remembering, which is deep interconnected with the mind and the brain. So, that is how the title is related. Yeah.
So true, very nice. There is also one poem in the book which describes your name. So I would like to recite it. The name Lakshmi seemed a pleasant poetry, and the prefix Vijaya sounded pure rhythmic music once. But now the X vanished and evaporated into the profound whole of the universe. No one could have explained it so beautifully. What was the reason this thought came to you?
Yeah, like if you see here, Vijaya, it is compared to rhythmic music, and Lakshmi, it is compared to pleasant poetry. And you also have the concept of the profound whole of the universe. And when you are a child, you have no problem, you have no worries. And like Vijaya, it was like profound music, and Lakshmi, of course, was pleasant poetry. Like it was like a fusion of words and the fusion of rhythm. But once the complexities of life step in, that is, you have a lot of responsibilities in life, you don't know how to manage it, and everything becomes dark and black. So this is it is at this point of time that we need motivation, we need inspiration, and mostly the motivation and meditation for me is from meditation. And at darkest point of time, I didn't realize that you have 100 deadlines, you have 1,000 deadlines, but what is the one target? The one target is just to be happy. That is, you have 100 different deadlines, yet there is one target, and that one target is only to be happy and nothing else. So this is regarding the notion. Yeah.
Very deep and thoughtful indeed. So, also, can you explain the reference of mirror images in your poem?
Yeah, sure. The mirror image, it refers to the place of duality. That is, it is a phase where there is no pain, no pleasure. And it is also related to Advaita philosophy, which propounds that the world is an illusion. And according to Dvaita, the world is real, God is the creator, and we also believe what is known as the unity in multiplicity. And if you see, like the mirror image is the stage where you can attain spirituality, wherein there is no difference between pain and pleasure, happiness and sorrow, and light, darkness. So there is no such difference. And you can also include, or you can just connect it to the concept of yin and yang also. That is, you have uh, I would like to quote from the book. That is, we played the Chinese whispers. We played the Chinese whispers one on one until the she was reincarnated as he. We played the Chinese whispers one on one until the she, that is SHE, was reincarnated as HE.
He.
So if you see, yeah, if you see, there are like multiple innumerable meanings associated with it. That is, from the word she and he, you just remove one word, that is S, and the whole meaning would become different. And Chinese whispers, it's actually a game wherein you start with something, and when it is like the Xth person or 50th person, the meaning is completely different. And there is one more, that is deleting the array of smiles and tears. Deleting the array of smiles and tears, I feel nothing. So here, at one point of time, like smiles would not matter to you, tears would not matter to you. You would just have happiness in bliss, a blissful state. Yeah. And also you have the concept, that is a pinch of salt and a pinch of sugar mixed proportionally gimmicks the value of life. So here you talk about controlling time, and you also see the concept of salt. Okay, salt, if you see, like it is added to have flavor in our food, and even the notion is the same, or the idea is the same with the sugar also. So if you don't have the balance of salt and sugar, okay, it should be mixed proportionally. So here you would understand the real value of life. So you have happiness throughout our life, and at one point of time you don't realize the value of happiness, and you have sadness throughout. Okay, life is so terrible. So life is all about a clear structure between happiness and sadness. So that is how the binary opposites also function at a different level.
Okay. So truly, life is a mix of sweet and salt, making it more delicious.
Yeah.
So there is a poem on time which states how time is controlling us. So do you think this can change, and can we control time?
Yeah, no one can control time. Like if you see, like I would like to quote from it. That is, who are you? I am time. Who are you? I am time. Can you control me? I asked. Can you or not? Don't you see? I already control you. So here, no one can control time, it controls us. So with every day, we lose time on earth, and we are one step closer to life and death. And time is just a parameter to implement discipline, it is just a measure. And time just exists in the mind of the super consciousness. It is just like the cycle between the past, the present, and the future. And like everything is bound, ruled, and controlled by time. So there is no escape from time for us as human beings.
Correct. So time is the very essence of the human race. It is
Yeah,
life. So there is no actually no concept of controlling time.
yeah, yeah.
So you were mentioning about binary opposites. I would like to know more about that.
Yeah. So here there is a poem which I would like to quote. That is, the illusion becomes the real. The illusion becomes the real. The truth becomes imaginary. The truth becomes imaginary. The loneliness becomes comfort, and the zero becomes the sound of the ceaseless universe. So here there is the concept of yin and yang. which complement each other. And yang is the active principle which is seen in all forms of change and difference, such as the annual cycle. You have winter and summer, the landscape, like you have north facing shade or the south facing brightness, the male and the female. So according to this philosophy, everyone, everything has both yin and yang. So this is like you cannot exist without shadow, the shadow cannot exist without you. So it is like this concept. So either of the two major aspects, it manifests in you more strongly in a particular object depending on your criteria or your observation. And yin and yang, it also shows a balance between two opposites. That is, like every human being has both the aspects. You have the lower self and also the higher self. So it is up to them that the management of the forces should occur. So this is how I have portrayed the concept of binary opposites in my latest book. Yeah.
So it is, so what you're trying to do is to explore the two different aspects, and in this case, that is universe, and then bring up your perspective.
Yes.
Great, great. So what is the most difficult part of the artistic process, whether it's poems or novels?
So here, if you see, the most difficult part of the artistic process is regarding the voice of the characters, and how, like you in first person, would separate yourself from the characters to give a voice in the third person. And it takes around 6 months to 1 year to complete fiction, and 2 to 3 months to finish poetry. And sometimes I don't get the right word, and sometimes no words can describe your passion. So it can only be felt, it can only be experienced, which cannot be portrayed in the form of words. And so this was the most difficult part of the artistic process, as long as I consider.
Yes, as they say, the first success of a poet is actually converting the thoughts into words to
Yeah.
create a poem that is exact reflection of their thoughts. True. Now, considering the situation this pandemic has created since almost an year, we are living in an uncertain world in terms of health, economy, or living conditions as such. So, how did you even manage to get inspired to write such motivational poems?
Okay, so that's an interesting question.
Yes.
Like I wrote this collection of poems in the last year, March. That is, I began
Okay.
somewhere middle of March, and middle of May, like May end, I completed almost around 2.5 months. So during this tough time, such as COVID, like one should calm the mind, and like for it, meditation is the key. So 30 minutes of self exploration will solve all the problems of your life. So that is how I keep myself motivated.
Correct, correct. You have mentioned it in your book.
Yeah,
If I may quote, is it
yeah.
possible? Is it possible to encompass the secrets of the entire universe in three different states? Om, the sleeping, the waking, and the dreaming ideologies. So meditation is definitely the key. Uh, I wanted to ask you. You have received appreciation letters from Honorable CM of Gujarat for your contribution. Also, your book was launched by the Honorable CM of Pondicherry himself. Seeing so much fame, you obviously feel great, but then do they affect your creativity? Because then you have a reputation to keep, or you just follow your heart and keep writing.
So, like, it was a wonderful feeling when I got an appreciation letter from Chief Minister of Gujarat, that is Sri Vijay Bhai Rupani ji. And when my second book, that is Poems on the Eternal God, it was launched by Sri Rangasamy ji. I'm very grateful to them for supporting me. And usually, when words flow from the heart, it keeps you motivated. But now I had a reputation to keep. Yeah.
Okay. So, have you started working on your next book? Can you tell us about it, or is it a surprise?
Yeah, of course, I can tell about it. So
Wonderful.
my next book, it is a collection of poetry with tips on self motivation. You have poetry and prose combined, to draw motivation on various topics such as positivity and mental health. So I have just started writing this book. So it would take around 6 months to complete this book. The research is still on.
True. Mental health is an issue that is coming up very frequently, and in the current situation where the number of suicides and depression cases have gone up so much, I really hope your book can give us all a ray of hope and light and to come out of these gloomy days.
Yeah.
What would your suggestions to be to the young poets, budding poets?
So, to be a good writer, like one has to read first. So, work hard, be consistent, and make reading and writing your daily habit. And your hard work will definitely pay off. So, this is the idea that I would like to give to the aspiring writers. Yeah.
Great. So you have also won the Ugam Women's Award. Anything you would like to say to the women in particular? Because even though they are capable and hardworking, they're not very upfront towards achieving their goals. They feel
Yeah,
their
true.
family is, yeah, they feel that their family is their first priority. So how do they inspire themselves to work hard towards achieving their own goal and embrace success?
You work hard, the success is yours. And nature has blessed women with lot of inner strength. And when you have set goals and when you have positive affirmation in the mind, the universe will automatically bow to your wish. And you are definitely bound to win. No matter what is the barrier of the society and what is the barrier which is created in one's mind.
Correct. If your mind can conceive it, you can
Yeah,
achieve it. As simple as
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay. Now, much has been asked about the poems of the book that I found interesting.
yeah,
So, I would also give you an opportunity to recite few poems, which are your favorite.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, just a second.
Yeah.
So here you have the one which deals with the color, that is black and white. She forgot the colors. She forgot the colors. For her, black meant sufferings and white meant peace. So she embraced white even in her cremation. So this is regarding feminism. The next one, the next one is regarding the end and the origin. That is, the end is painful. The end is painful, but everything has to stop for the origin to be born. So this is regarding the binary concepts of the end and the origin. And then you have another one. What do you know about me? My color, my height, my negligence, my mistakes,
I love
my
this.
tribulations. And apart from it, do you believe that I exist too? So this is regarding feminism. And so the last one, not all love stories have happy endings. Not all love stories have happy endings. Some are rewritten as novels too. So this is the favorite.
Okay,
Yeah,
now when you have recited about the love story one,
yeah,
allow, allow me to recite the poem from the book. And I
yeah,
must tell you all that it is quite different. It isn't
yeah,
spiritual at all or anything related to feminism, just
yeah,
fun. So
yeah,
may I?
yeah, sure.
Yes. So the
Yeah.
most vital lesson of Bollywood: a girl, a hero, and a villain. The three in one life love triangles. The hero is successful. In real life, after marriage, the fact is that she should have married the other guy, thinks the hero. Thank God I didn't marry her, thinks the
Yeah.
villain. I should not have married at all, thinks the heroine. This is this is
Yeah.
what we call luck by chance. I
Yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed reading your book, I must tell you.
Yeah. 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 I loved the way you recited the poem.
That is exactly what was going on in my mind.
Yeah.
Perfect Bollywood picture.
Yeah.
So yes, it was indeed a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for giving us so much insights into the spiritual world. and wishing you more success, no, and inspirations to pen.
Yeah. So I would like to thank Ahmedabad Book Club for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to talk about my book, and thank you, Savita ji, for the wonderful, for being a wonderful host and wonderful compare. Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you, Ahmedabad Book Club. So everyone out there, keep your emotions alive, keep writing, and watch out for more events. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.